I want to ask you right now, what was the biggest lesson that you learned throughout this process of building and launching Pillars?
That's a good question. In any particular manner, or just
it could be, personally, like personal growth, mindset, or, in terms of business development, anything really. But what do you feel was your biggest takeaway so far?
Maybe I've already shared it, but I feel like, your idea isn't as valuable as you think. Try and share early on, because I think something that I've learned the hard way in the past is that I've spent 6 months, I remember, building a product in the past, where I then launched it and then only then figured out that it wasn't necessarily the thing that people wanted. There wasn't a demand for it. And I think with this, the really nice thing is that because we were sharing things along the way, people were excited about it even before we'd started building it. And it's really nice when you have that, right? When you have people who are really excited to use what you've got planned, and then you get the motivation to continue building. And even now, like, people are very motivated by what we've got planned in the future. So it's really nice for us to think, let's keep going. And so, I guess the biggest lesson is, go to people and ask them to critique your idea. Like, get them to give them your idea and tell them, can you destroy it for me? Can you really rip it apart and tell me what the problems are with, why is this going to fail? I hope that answers your question.
No, yeah, definitely. And I appreciate you sharing that. And I want to know, for you, do you feel like throughout this process of building a business, because one thing that I do notice for myself is that as you go through a journey like this, and of course your journey is just beginning, mashallah, and there's a lot more to come, and I pray for your success. But as you kind of go through this journey, I feel like the biggest benefit we do ultimately get at the end of the day is who we become through this path and journey of entrepreneurship. Do you feel like this has changed your perspective in any way, or maybe your mindset, or has given you something and on a personal level that you can take away so far from what you've done?
I'd say there's two. Definitely. There's two main things, I'd say. So the first thing is sincerity, just before I forget them. And the second thing is more about prioritizing the process and the journey rather than just the destination. So with sincerity, it's very easy to kind of lose yourself when you're building something. I guess this is more specific to it being a Muslim-based product. It's very easy to kind of lose, essentially forget why you initially started out doing it. It was initially going to be a project that we wanted to give to the community. It still is something that we want to kind of, something that inshallah Allah will reward us for, and something that will benefit the community. And it's really important the thing that I've learned is it's really key to make sure that you hold yourself accountable and others accountable, that you don't run away with success. Again, I don't like using that term because success can be defined in a lot of ways, but essentially, I hope that makes sense. But essentially, it's just make sure that you're accountable yourself. Make sure that you're not getting ahead of yourself, and it's not getting, to your head somewhat. And make sure that even Tariq's great. He's amazing because he always reminds me, even indirectly, he won't necessarily tell me, Abdul-Rahman, you're doing this or this, but he will do things that makes me think about, for example, for a period of time, he decided to leave social media just to disconnect himself from a lot of the things that were happening, and just make sure that he was focused, on his intentions. And I think that was something that made me reflect. The second thing I would say is about the journey. I'm someone who really, really struggles saying I'm going to hustle, so that at the end of the day I can get to where I want to, and I'm not going to enjoy, or I'm not going to spend time with my family or friends, and I'm going to just get my head down. It's all about getting the workout down, and later on I'll have this break. Later on I'll feel that I can essentially relax. And I think that's a really big mistake, because having spoken to a lot of other people and heard their journeys, it's very often that I get that they say that when they get to that destination that they had set for themselves, actually what happens is the goalposts move. That goal becomes further down, and it becomes a bigger goal. So for us, it could have been getting to 10,000 is our goal, but actually now we're at 40,000. We might be thinking, oh, I want it 1 million. It never really ends. It could be 2 million, 10 million, 20 million, who knows? And so something that I learned about myself, and I regularly ask people around me to remind me about, is to kind of make sure that you enjoy the process of building something, the process of launching a business, because if you don't, you'll A, burn out, and B, you just won't enjoy the process or your life or the thing you're doing. I mean, what's the purpose of it at the end of the day? It's obviously to make an impact, but also to give you satisfaction and make sure that you're feeling good about yourself and what you're doing. So don't wait for that for later, because it won't come unless you kind of prioritize it now. Yeah, there's a balance to these things, but I definitely wasn't as balanced as I should have been. I was still working on it actually now.